Hola IPAF, yo soy Seth y yo soy un artista muralista francés. The Back to School project began in 2016. The first year was in China. We painted 15 schools in different places all over the countries, in unprivileged area, and with almost 15 international artists from all over the world. There was Artiste from Spain, Andrew from United States, Tinho from Brazil, Rodrigo Blanco from Brazil, Pum Pum from Argentina. The idea was to go in an unprivileged area and to paint a large mural in the school and to make workshop with the kids. It was all over China, in Inner Mongolia, in Xinjiang, on the border of Burma, in Sichuan, in the Tibetan Sichuan Chinese, even in the big city like Shanghai, Chongqing, Beijing, so in a lot of places. Most of the time the choice of the places was because of the situation. We try to not good in privileged place, but more like a poor part of the country. Because this is a place where the children need the more activities or something else than just go to school and go back home and sleep and go to school. So it was a way to show them different stuff. And perhaps there will be one or two kids seeing that they change their life and begin to draw better and to want to be a muralist or an artist, I don't know. The idea was to bring art in places where normally they don't have this kind of stuff, and to lay a big piece of art, like the big wall we've done, like every artist have done. Because most of the children, their parents work in the city, so they go very far away and they live with their grandparents, for example. And they are a bit like bored, they are doing nothing. So the idea was to do this sharing between an artist and those children, and to let something. That was very important too. So the next year they will still see the painting and say, oh, I remember when the guy was here and how he did it, and because they see all the process and they participate too sometimes. Some artists were doing workshop with the kids, so it was working on paper or painting piece of the wall, or some other use the drawing of the children to paint on the wall, on some idea of the children on the wall. So it was a different way of participating, making the kids participating with the project. Most of the time we had a good reaction of the community and mostly of the kids, because we were painting in the school. There was 10 murals in the school and 10 murals in the city, speaking a little bit about the project. There was very good interaction with the kids because they were coming all the time. They were looking at the artists, asking some questions, trying to draw with them. So it was very a good experience for the artist, who was living his adventure alone most of the time, with local guy who helped him, but he was not with other street artists or other artists. He was alone in his village or in his city. And it was a very good experience too, I think, for the local. I don't know, I can't speak for them, but the reaction I saw when I was there was very nice. So that's why I wanted to do it again the next year in Ukraine. If I do that, it's because for me it's changing stuff and I feel more useful doing that than only painting in the street of big city in Western country for tourism or for making my advertisement. So I think the muralism, the social idea of muralism will come from South America, Mexico first, and after there was in Chile, in Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, with a political background. This is the muralist that interests me, and this is what we're doing in the school comes a little bit from this idea, not the European political street art or the European brand street art, brandalism, how you want to call it. The first project in China was not my initiative. I was called to curate it by a brand paint called Nippon Paint. And we used to paint school before, and do activity with the kids, but only with very simple drawings. So the idea was to bring real international street artists to participate this time. And I like it so much, the project, I decided to do it again, this time by my own with a friend of mine, Oleg Sosnov in Ukraine. And we did it with 8 schools this year. In different places all over Ukraine, on the east border, but also in the center, in Kiev. And what was interesting, we also did one wall in a jail for minor. So it was not only children, but it was also teenagers. And it was interesting to paint with them. And they did a wall with the artists there, and also a workshop drawing. In Ukraine, Oleg chose the places. So because we don't have money for this project, so it was a bit complicated to try to find every time different places. So sometimes the city wanted to paint the school, so they were helping us with it. UNICEF helped us in 2 places too, so they choose one on the front line between the separatists and Ukraine, and the prison too. And it was different places. The reaction was the same, was very good. And we had the same kind of interaction, different because it's not the same culture, of course, but with the children. Every artist who participated were very happy. They participate, they're not paid to do it, but they feel, like I told you, a bit useful doing something like that. It's not only for fame, it's also to have an experience. And I think this experience is very important. I remember in Ukraine, so we were in Popasna, and I was painting, and then I saw one of the kids. So I remember I was on the lift, and then I saw this kid was like 7 years old or 8 years old, coming and tried to take the paint and stuff. I said, "Oh, what he's doing? Oh no, he's just painting." So I watched and I saw him. He was beginning to paint on a cardboard, and then he was painting his country, and he was painting the situation because there is a war situation there, so the tank and stuff. And he was explaining, "Okay, now there is this story, and this is my country, and this is blah blah." Oh, it was crazy, and like seeing me painting on the wall give him the idea and to paint and to express what he was feeling about the situation there. And this kind of stuff feels you useful doing that, I think. Adiós IPAF, suerte para el festival y espero próximo año venir a México.